Hi everyone, my name is Slithering Pyro. You probably don't know who I am, but I've been an avid YouTuber for many a year now. In fact, this isn't even my first gaming channel, nor is it my main channel, which is why it's called Second Slither. My main channel can be found in the description, where I upload non-gaming related content like sketch videos centered around some characters of mine, as well as YouTube poops and dub videos and just some other cool stuff on there. So if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to check it out. But on the topic of this channel, you may have noticed lots of TF2 gameplay in the background as I've been talking thus far, but that doesn't mean that I'm a TF2 channel. I will be uploading lots of different gaming related content with a fair bit of TF2 sprinkled in there, but TF2 is not going to be the main focus of this channel. I have to reiterate that this is not a TF2 only channel. If you feel like subscribing for just TF2 content, I would highly recommend against doing so, as it will not be the main focus of this channel. However, this video is an exception, as I am here to talk about TF2 exclusively today, the subject of which being the hashtag #FixedTF2 movement that's been making the rounds lately. So for those of you who are unaware, a community member by the name of Zesty Jesus, who I'm sure that you're all familiar with by now, made a video talking about TF2's ongoing bot crisis, and in this video, he basically humbles the entire TF2 community. He reveals that the majority of TF2's player count, based off Steam's own internal player chart, are at least 60 to 70% bots. Not all of them are hacker bots, mind you, and if I'm not mistaken, the hacker bots are actually the minority in TF2's bot population, as the vast majority of these bots are just used to take advantage of TF2's item drop system for financial gain. Now, not too long afterward, another community member named Wheezy made a video talking about this revelation, and in this video, he suggests some new tactics and ways that the community can protest against Valve's mistreatment of this game, using the World of Warcraft community's protest against Blizzard as his main example. Now, Wheezy's video along with Zesty's video is what inspired me to make this video in the first place, and I must warn you, the rest of this discussion, for the most part, is going to be me ranting about Valve, something you probably heard a million times, but if we as a community want to hold Valve accountable for their actions, then this is simply my way of doing so. So feel free to open up another tab and do something else for the rest of this video, or better yet, if you just want to ignore my voice and pay attention to some of the clips in the background, you can do that too. I hit some pretty sick frags as Pyro in these clips, so if that's what you prefer to do, then just, go right ahead. But otherwise, let's just get straight to the point of this video. TF2 is treated by Valve the same way an emotionally distant romantic partner would, and it's been this way for years. We've given this company chance after chance after chance, and each and every time we do, they manage to squander their opportunity for redemption. Even after they promise to try and fix things, to try and be better, every fucking time they double back on it. Now, I don't know if it's just the sunken cost fallacy or what, but if any, and I mean any other game, was left in the state that TF2 is in right now, this discussion wouldn't even be happening because nobody would be around to care. But we still care. And Valve repeatedly has shown that they don't. Now, the part of this situation that really brings my piss to a boil is not just Valve's mistreatment of the game, but the community's treatment towards the protest. And what do I mean by that? Well, when hashtag #SaveTF2 elicited one tweet out of Valve, after which the game faded back to the state that it was in pre-SaveTF2, Valve finally had all the confirmation they needed that this game wasn't going away no matter how bad it got. They know this because hashtag #SaveTF2 told them. I love this game so much. This game means so much to so many people. TF2 is my favorite game of all time. We love TF2 so much, and therein lies the problem. Hashtag #SaveTF2, while a valiant effort at peacefully protesting, validated Valve's mistreatment by shining light on how much we love it rather than shaming Valve's mistreatment of it. And why this distinction is so important is because the latter, shaming Valve's mistreatment of the game, is the primary focus of the next protest which a community is developing as we speak. So with all this in mind, all I have to say is this: Valve and everyone currently working at Valve, you should all be absolutely fucking ashamed of yourselves. You allow a toxic community of botters, cheaters, and scammers to run rampant throughout your community while taking advantage of your core bread and butter player base by releasing half-baked, poorly implemented, lazy updates that offer nothing but more ways for players to spend their hard-earned money on something that they love so dearly and unconditionally. You take advantage of your community's love by promising to change and offering what looks like a genuine attempt to change via the 64-bit update, but all it does is serve as another strip of duct tape on this gaping hole of a problem that you created for yourself. You are a multi-billion-dollar company which has access to any resources it could possibly need to fix this problem, and you say that you're going to try and do something about it, but you don't. You choose to alienate your honest-to-God, real TF2 player base by allowing shit like this to just keep on happening. In no world is something like this acceptable. In no world should you be allowed to treat your player base in this way. You barely communicate anything to the community, and when you do, it's nothing but empty promises and monetization that threatens the credibility of your entire fucking company. You basically let all of your employees work on whatever the fuck they want, enabling them to plug their ears and cover their eyes to the outcry from the starving community that they created by abandoning this game and leaving the community in the dark, angry, confused, and without fucking answers. You owe it to us to provide your player base a functioning product that performs as advertised after the hundreds of millions of dollars that you have made and continue to make from this game. But even with the constant and continual outcry from the community, you sit on your asses and choose to do absolutely nothing about it. You obviously don't give a fuck about your public reputation, and you obviously have zero accountability, and it's for these reasons that you need to change Valve. You need to change the way you operate internally, or at least make some additions to what you already have, because the way that you run your company is absolutely fucking ridiculous. You tell your workers that they can work on essentially whatever the fuck they want so long as they ask nicely, and it's within this system that creates an imbalance of resource allocation, and it's what leads to situations like the one that we find ourselves in currently. And yes, I understand that it's difficult to run a huge company like Valve, and I understand that the problems with TF2 are relatively small given the entirety of the Steam ecosystem, but there is no, and I mean no, reason why they can't just hire some people to investigate this issue and develop a functioning anti-cheat to finally cleanse our game of this dumpster fire of a situation right now. Just last week, Rainbow Six Siege had an anti-cheat update, and while the results of which aren't fully understood as of yet, it just proves that it can be done. Anti-cheat updates can happen, and sure, maybe it could backfire and just end up making the game worse overall, but Valve doesn't even attempt to do anything like that because of how complacent they've grown over the years. For years, they've thought that they could get away with whatever they want, and that they could get away with leaving this game in the dust and leaving the player base to fend for itself for the better part of a decade now. But not anymore. Valve needs to be held accountable for their actions, and the only way that's going to happen is if we as a collective player base band together. It's time to hold Valve's feet to the fire. Send Valve as many angry emails as you can. Make angry YouTube videos like this one. Make angry Reddit posts, angry tweets, and most of all, you need to be angry. We should be angry at Valve. Don't just talk, but yell. Don't talk about how much you love this game. Yell about how Valve's mistreatment of this game is absolutely unacceptable. call Valve out directly, and most importantly, spread the word. If we want to get what we want, we have to fight for it. No more passive, peaceful protests like hashtag save TF2. It's no longer about telling Valve how much we love TF2, but instead demanding Valve to fix TF2. Hashtag fix TF2. In the description of this video, you'll find a link to the community-developed website dedicated to documenting this bot situation and educating the public on what's been going on. And on the front page of this site, you'll find a section to sign a petition where the names of each and every person that it's signed by will be printed off and sent to Valve physically to show them just how many people are being affected by this situation. I am encouraging all of you, every last one of you, to sign it. Sign this petition, spread it around the community, and show Valve who we really are. Show Valve that this problem will not go away on its own and that they need to do something about it. So with all this being said, I'm going to say this one final time. Valve, fix your fucking game. Fuck off. Wow. Wow.